Let's get to the NFL and let's do something we call Run the Hurry Up with Dan Graziano. Graz, get us started with the Cowboys, who made a move yesterday.
Yeah, Cowboys kicking off the free agent running back market with a deal for Javonte Williams. Strong deal for Javonte. He gets $16 million fully guaranteed over the first 2 years. So the Cowboys locking up a still 25-year-old running back coming off a 1,200-yard, 11-touchdown season. And it's an interesting start, Peter, to a running back market that's also going to include the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, and some other big names.
Let's bring in Mike Tannenbaum and Jason McCourty here, because Graz just laid it out pretty clearly as far as the running back market goes. But Mike T, I got to ask you, we were talking about George Pickens the last 2 weeks, not Javonte Williams. Will George Pickens be next? Do you see that move being an immediate next step?
Not at all, Peter. George Pickens had an incredible year, over 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. And I'm sure he's saying, hey, I want frontline #1 wide receiver money, $40 million a year, somewhere in the Jamar Chase range. Dallas is going to say, no. You're our second best receiver behind CeeDee Lamb. T. Higgins is the highest paid #2 receiver at about $28 million a year. If you said to me, hey, September 1st, before or after this deal gets done, I'm going after Peter. Wow. I think this is a really hard deal to get done.
Wow. After September 1st, meaning we're going to have a long summer of Cowboys contract talk for what feels like the 5th summer in a row. Graz, let's get to a topic that gets discussed every offseason now. What can you tell us about the latest on the tush push?
Yeah, Rich McKay of the league's competition committee saying yesterday that no team has submitted a proposal, a rules proposal this year for a tush-push ban, so he doesn't anticipate one coming up. Obviously, they still have another few weeks. The owners' meeting at the end of March is when they vote on these things, but as of now, it doesn't feel like there's that kind of momentum that there was last year for a ban of the Eagles' tush-push play.
J-Mac, this is all we talked about last year going into the Combine, whether the Rules Committee would end up overturning it and removing it. Pretty quiet topic now. What was your reaction to this news?
It reminded me of arguments that I have with my wife where all the reasons just start to just come out of nowhere. First, it's health and safety. Then it's the aesthetics of the play. It looks like rugby. But at the end of the day, I'm correct, and you just move on past it, and it's silence on the other end. I look at this play. Stop it. And you look at what's gone on over the last year for other NFL teams. The reason no one's talking about it is because the play wasn't as successful this year. Defense has caught up. They figured out ways to stop it. We watched Jalen Hurts lose a fumble on the tush push. So now going forward, there's multiple teams that do it now, but defenses and teams, they aren't as passionate about it because they're like, you know what? We've gone back, we've watched the film, and we've figured out different avenues to stop this play so it no longer is all the nonsense that we've seen over the last few years where the Eagles were absolutely dominant at scoring with it.
I mean, I remember more than half the league, I think, voted to get rid of it last year.
Yeah.
It's not even being proposed right now. Graz, I'm shocked that it's not even being discussed. But let's move on to Kansas City. What's the latest you've got on the Travis Kelce situation there?
Yeah, Chiefs head coach Andy Reid not coming to the Combine this year. He did a news conference last week, said there has been communication with Travis Kelce, and in Andy Reid's words, that means people want to move forward. So he said, I think that's where Travis is. So it sounds like the Chiefs and Travis Kelce are discussing a potential reunion for 2026. His contract has expired. He's a free agent. They have to get a new deal done with him to bring him back. But it sounds like there's some interest on both sides.
J-Mac, I want to bring you in here. As you played for many teams, your brother went wire to wire with the Patriots. If you are the Chiefs, are you making sure that Travis Kelce isn't donning some other jersey next year? Are you making sure you bring him back?
No brainer. Absolutely, we're bringing him back. Not only because of what he's done and what he means. He's going to obviously be a first ballot Hall of Famer and what he's done in the Kansas City Chiefs uniform. But he was still good last year. I think sometimes we get caught up on the fact that Travis Kelce's been so good throughout his career that when he has a little bit of a slide, we look at it and say, oh, he's no longer good. No, he still was at the top in the NFL when it comes to reception and yards among tight ends. So he is still up there, and he's also at 11 yards per catch. That's up since 2022, and 5.7 yards after the catch, which is his highest since 21. So this is still a very productive player that deserves to still be in that Kansas City Chiefs uniform.
Mike Tannenbaum, as fans and as reporters, sometimes there's some sentimentality here, and they've got a lot of heart and emotion. What do you think about bringing back Kelce at 37 after the performance he had last year?
I wouldn't do it. And that's when you're in the front office and you're a head coach, you have to make the honest and sober observation that you want to pay a player for what they're going to do, not what they've done. He is slowing down. I know Jason had some statistics there, but he did go from 97 to 76 catches. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes was hurt. But when you look at the best tight ends in the game right now, Trey McBride's 27, Brock Bowers is 25, Sam Laporte is 25. There's some really good tight ends in the draft, like Kenyon Sadiq, Max Clare, Michael Trigg, amongst others. If I'm Kansas City, go get the next guy, honor Travis Kelce for what he's done, but go get the next young tight end and go take care of these other needs, tackle, running back, and receiver.
Oh, that would be such a tough move. All right.
For this one,
Exactly.
might be our last group gold for a while, according to Evan Cohen.
Did you spend too much time in the sun last week in Florida?
Not enough. Not enough.
The tan looks outstanding,
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Yeah, what level
Tan
was it
looks
in the
great.
booth?
It was the sun playing tennis, and I go at Evco Radio on Instagram. Please follow me, and I post those things.
But no following of CC or I?
No, you have enough followers. I have none.
Or CC or me, I guess is correct.
Well, normally I will post things about like my life because I've been told that that's a good idea. Like when you're on a platform like this, and I don't like to show myself because I'm very self-conscious. But I show like tennis and things that I do. But because I got ridiculed by Smalls, I don't do that anymore.
I told you I was messing with you.
Well, this is nonstop. So far today, I have you two telling me, when you cut me off, and you make it seem like I'm rooting for France over the United States
Sounds
at
like
a
it.
future Summer Olympics in
Sounds like
basketball.
it. That's what I got.
And I got Kimberly Martin saying, "Aren't you happy that Evan's not here?" You know,
But they cut off
I
the
do miss
audio.
the sun, actually.
Then
We don't
she
know
said
that.
she loves you, and that you guys are on the same wavelength a lot, especially when it comes to music.
Anyway, oh boy. So Andy Reid is optimistic that Travis Kelce is going to come back.
Well, that is a hard right turn.
Well, I want to read you this quote from over the weekend from Reid. There is communication, Reid said, of talks with Kelce. That's the main thing. I've said this before. As long as there's communication, I'm good. That means people want to move forward. I think that's where Travis is. Just not to nitpick every word. Was anyone doubting whether or not there's going to be communication between Travis Kelce and the Chiefs? They seem like they have one of the most healthy player-organization relationships that we've ever seen, right? Even if Travis Kelce is going to say, I'm not sure, I think he'll tell them, I'm not sure, right? Which means they have to act on it. That's where it gets interesting right now. The Chiefs, should they be yearning for Kelce to come back? Should they be looking at Tyreek Hill on a lesser deal, obviously, now that he's available? Should they be trying to, quote-unquote, run it back here?
Well, I think we all realize that the end is near for Travis Kelce. And even though last year he wasn't the same dominant player that he has been at times in his career, and the team wasn't as dominant as they were holistically at times throughout his tenure, he still led the Chiefs in targets. He led the team in receptions. He led the team in yards, touchdowns, and receiving first downs.
Because he was really good or because they had no choice?
Well, that is the question.
Exactly.
Was it symptomatic of his performance or because they need another option there?
Yeah, and that was not a statement for me. That was purely a question. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, but that's the question that they need to be asking themselves. And obviously what he's meant to this organization and what he brings to them in a lot of different ways, if he wants to come back, they're going to welcome him back. But they need to be looking and thinking about life beyond him. And maybe you bring Tyreek Hill back. You don't know what he's going to be like from a health standpoint. But again, his production has dipped during the past couple years during his time in Miami. So I don't know if both of those players coming back to the Chiefs is going to be what they need in order to reboot what is going to be the next iteration, hopefully, of dominant Chiefs football. They need to be thinking beyond both of them.
Yeah, they got to find more reliable pass catchers, particularly guys on the edges. And the investments that they've made over the last several years haven't panned out to the level that they need them to. Xavier Worthy sinking a first-round pick into him. A lot of speed. He impacts the defense, but not necessarily in a way where you're talking about his production being outsized considering where his draft positioning was. Investing in Hollywood Brown in free agency, that hasn't panned out the way that Kansas City was looking for it. Rashee Rice, good player, but has dealt with some issues off the field and hasn't necessarily been reliable. And then, oh, by the way, he had an injury that he had to contend with once upon a time. So, I mean, their receiving core leaves something to be desired. And when you're talking about a 36-year-old tight end leading you in all of those major statistical categories for receivers, that's a problem. That just shows you that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have enough help. And it's why I said earlier in the year that the Kansas City Chiefs have taken the greatness of Patrick Mahomes for granted. And something about that has to change, over the next several months, getting ready for the 2026 season.
Yeah, I mean, if I ran the Chiefs, he's coming back as long as he wants. There's no roster spot that's not going to be available for him. It's just the cost and the role that we'll have to discuss. And I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe he'll accept whatever role it is. He doesn't strike me as someone that at this point in his career is going to be like, nope, I need 10 targets a game. Like, I feel like he will play that complementary role in a way that is that aging Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, that aging superstar where he's like, I just want to be here, be around, and set this team up for what's next. Whoever it is they get at that if they go, I'm making this up.
But it's not just about setting this team up for what's next. They believe that they have a chance to win a championship every single year. And number 15 is under center.
And they should believe that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the motivation.
The next generation of Chiefs, maybe. The next iteration of Chiefs, right?
Who cares about the next iteration of Chiefs if you can win a championship next year?
Yeah, correct. If you're Travis Kelce, why do you care about setting up the organization?
No.
Do you want to really put your body through all of that and the time and effort that you have to put into getting ready to play and playing throughout the season if you don't think at this stage in your career you have a chance to win?
Yeah, listen.
But that's not what I'm saying at all.
I hear where you're coming from.